WNBA CBA update. Earlier this week, news came out. The WNBA had offered players a new collective bargaining agreement that included a max salary of more than $1.1 million, minimum salary of more than $220,000, average salary of more than $460,000. Now, mind you, I'm reading these numbers because I didn't make this in my entire career, which is insane. Those numbers would start in the first year of the deal and increase over the length of the CBA. In 2025, the league's minimum salary was $66,000 and its supermax was $249,000. So you're saying basically the average salary nearly doubles the supermax of what it is now. But the reports are saying that the numbers are misleading. The latest offer includes $1 million max salary, but only if certain revenue sharing targets are hit. The base supermax in 2026 would remain in the six figures. It's also being reported that players' share of revenue under the league's latest offer would not be significantly different than it is now, which I believe is roughly around 9%. WNBPA doesn't see proposed 1.1 max salary as moving negotiations forward. Will a deal be reached before November 30th? I think only time will tell.
Only time will tell, seriously.
We stand with the WNBPA. I do think sometimes in negotiations, these numbers can be misleading, as we found out in the last CBA. Yeah, I think only time's going to tell.
Yeah.
Because a big point of contention has been the revenue share. And it not changing, but throwing in front of players numbers that they've asked for. But really the way to have salaries grow correctly is through discussing and agreeing on rev share. Because the NBA gets 50. We're not going to get anywhere near 50. But there are a bunch of numbers between 9 and 50. So we'll see. New York Liberty have agreed on a deal to hire Golden State Warriors assistant coach Chris DeMarco as their new head coach. DeMarco has been with the Warriors since 2012 and has won 4 NBA championships. He's also the head coach of the Bohemian men's national team.
Yeah, I mean, now they got their coach. They're the last ones. I guess we'll see what their offense looks like. I mean, you think it's going to be Sabrina coming off screens like Curry?
I am all for the best person getting the job. But when there's a trend that goes in the way of thinking that just because you are an NBA assistant, that you're better for the job, I don't know what went on in that process. And I don't know what went on in a number of coaching searches that, came up this year. There were a number of coaches and teams that were hiring. You think of, the Tempo, you think of Dallas, you think of the Liberty, and am I missing one?
Portland hired.
Portland. And the trend has been male assistant coaches, and some of which aren't bench coaches, they're behind the bench coaches. And so we as a league, I believe, have to have the conversation of how can we better prepare our assistants and our past players to be in positions to be head coaches in our league, because it's becoming kind of like the NBA back in the day when they had no African-American male coaches, and the league is predominantly made up by African-American males, as is the WNBA. And so to not see that representation, it's similar to, I think, opportunity. You look at the NFL now, it's a whole lot more color than it was at the quarterback position than it was back before. And I think a lot of it had to do around the conversation. So I'm all for the best person getting the job. These individuals are, truly qualified. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that it is very interesting that we have been so protective and a part of growing our game. And now when the money is better and financially you can pay a coach what they truly deserve, now those jobs are going to others. And so I think it's a conversation that if the WNBA is not having, they need to have. Whether there needs to be criteria, in which the NFL demanded the NBA the same. But like I said, they're in the interviews. They're just not getting the jobs. So we'll see. Good luck. I know that there are a number of male coaches that were hired this year. So I also know that there are a number of people in the WNBA that are not going to win. So let's see what happens later on with those jobs.
Brother.
Am I lying? Like, you hire all of these individuals that are past NBA assistants. Somebody's not going to win.
Yep.
It's just going to be the case. And so we're going to see where that progression goes.